Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Championship Rounds podcast. It's the morning after, the night before, and what a night it was last night at Wembley Stadium. Anthony Joshua failing at his attempt to become a 3-time heavyweight champion as Daniel Dubois pulls up one of the biggest upsets this year, completely dominating Anthony Joshua and stopping him in round 5. Now, Dan, this fight was it wasn't a good fight. It was a domination, but it was exciting, electric atmosphere. It was crazy. What are your thoughts on it?
Um, I'm just still in shock. Who expected that? Well, absolute domination.
Certain accounts, not me, unfortunately. But he ran AJ completely over. Like it was non-competitive 20 seconds into the fight. He hurt him almost immediately. And it just never wavered back. Well, it did waver for like 2 seconds to AJ's side. But
Yeah, Joshua landed one punch of any significance. Actually, if you watch there's footage going around. I think it's TNT put it out on Twitter of like the ringside view of the knockout. Obviously, like Joshua lands the right hand and then runs in. Dubois wasn't really that badly hurt from that right hand. He just backed up a bit. Like
it's
it
like
was,
his back leg said ooh wee. But then
It's
he
like
just
he
backed
definitely
him
felt
going.
it, but
he
he
felt
was
it.
very.
Yeah,
That's probably the hardest punch he's like had to absorb.
yeah.
That was a difference between the two. I mean, look how composed Dubois was when he got hurt. Look at AJ when he got hurt, all over the place.
Oh, he slipped trying to hit him the first punch after.
I mean, he doesn't know what to do when he gets hurt.
Well, he said afterwards that he was in. He said himself he was in survival mode and he just wanted to hurry up and land something because he knew how hurt he was. So I get it, but he's done it before. I feel like you should know. He's experienced that before, where he's like in danger of like, or he's like close to getting what he's trying to get, and then he just wastes it by not setting anything up.
He was just gone, man. He was gone instantly in that first like minute. Dubois' jab was just so powerful and so perfect. It landed instantly. Like he found the home for that jab and that right hand practically instantly in that fight. Pushed Joshua back, and I just don't think Joshua can really fight off the back foot like that against a guy that can match him physically. Like it was dominance.
He was faster. His persistence was insane. It's like and then he just it's not like he like runs forward like recklessly. Dubois,
No, he was double jabbing his way in. He was hammering the body. He was hammering upstairs.
but he's like on you like
Yeah,
instantly, as if he didn't even need the jab. He just walked right. He's like
his feet
just
were
walk.
quicker. His
AJ was
feet
just
were
like walk.
better.
AJ was just like walk right in. Sure, hit me.
I didn't expect him to double jab so early. I mean, it usually takes him a few rounds to start double jabbing, and a scream from his trainer, Don Charles. But straight away, I mean, took the center ring, pushed AJ back on the front foot. I mean, you could see his intent from the start. You know, he looks really confident in that ring walk to me. I mean, I thought he might maybe fold under this event. I mean, 96,000 people have never been in anything like that before. But no, I think it helped him, to be honest.
That's like how people joke about how he is outside the ring, how like awkward he is. It's like he's like a completely different person when he's in the squared circle. It's like it's insane.
I mean, that might help him. Maybe he can't process it. I mean, it just doesn't really affect him.
Yeah,
It's like he's the most comfortable when he doesn't need to talk. He lets his hands talk for him, and
Like,
they're hard.
like with all due respect to him, he's a bit simple, and that's fine. But maybe it works in his favor.
You want to know the craziest stat, or a stat that's sort of very damning for Joshua? In the first round, Dubois landed 9 of 30 jabs. Joshua landed 2 of 21. Instantly, like, if you're shipping 9 jabs around to Daniel Dubois, you're not going to win a fight like that. Especially when they're hard ramrod coming forward, double jabs most of the time. Like, just astounding, man. Astounding. And I'm the only one here that picked Dubois to win this fight. Like, I thought Dubois, it was going to be a bit cagey, you know. Joshua wins some rounds, Dubois wins some rounds, then Dubois catches him and Joshua sort of unravels. But
He didn't
it
even
was
get
just,
that storyline didn't even get a chance to
yeah.
happen.
Look, it looked to me like one of them had a game plan, one of them didn't.
Because one of them, AJ, was looking for. I feel like when I was watching the first 2 rounds, even as he's hurt the entire time, he's just forcing himself to try to like recreate the like Ngannou and like the Ngannou knockout in the combination that hurt Bali in that pull counter. It's he did it so many times and it just didn't work, and he just kept doing it over and over and over.
Yeah, because like he was trying to counter a shot that was landing though. He was more focused on, oh, I'm going to catch and counter and catch and counter, and he wasn't actually catching the shot. He was getting hit square in the face with it. That's the issue. Like it's all good thinking, yeah, I'm going to bait someone in and then I'm going to counter over the top and do this and do that. But what if their shot lands? And then you have to reset, and then your legs go, and then is
then
that?
then you're on the floor, like
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
I
doing
mean,
he was doing this stupid thing of he wasn't even trying to battle the jab with Dubois. He was throwing those left hooks that look like jabs against Dubois. Jab is always going to land before a left hook. Quickest point.
straighter.
The A to B.
you know,
And he just got smacked in the face by a jab every single time.
It's like it's not even like that. I don't know.
Mm.
It's like not.
And-
It's like not a typical jab. It's like a power punch,
I mean, Dubois' jab is hard enough as it is, but when you're coming into it,
and it makes your head
yeah,
face the ceiling.
because I mean, what's his name? Dave Allen. He said that Dubois' jab is the hardest punch he's ever been hit with.
Not a power punch, but Dubois makes it a power punch.
And I mean, that's really saying something considering like he's been in with a lot of people and he's sparred with a
Local
lot of
thieves.
people.
Dave Allen's been hit with by some
David Price, Povetkin,
Yeah.
he sparred with everyone.
He's sparred with Vladimir Klitschko, AJ, Dylan White. I mean, he's been with Dylan White as well. Everyone.
Louis Horses, everyone.
Yeah. And the jab, the hardest punch he's been hit with.
One thing we've got to mention. What the hell is Joshua doing, sort of plodding into range with his hands in his pockets?
I feel like his hands never went above his chest the entire fight.
It didn't. Look, there's a still image near the like knockout, and I know he was going in for the kill and whatever. Both his hands were below his chest, and his chin was miles up.
His left hand was near his hip while he had his chin up in the air trying to throw a bleed uppercut while both of you are hurt. Why? What are you doing?
In the first round, yeah. The first round knockdown.
What an interesting knockdown.
Both his hands are down and his chin's up in the air and he's right in range.
And he's leaning back in a straight line. I mean, you can start.
It's as if he never even seen the punch coming.
I mean, you can start. Yeah, I don't even know what he was doing then. I mean, it was like
that's the weirdest knockdown. The other ones were he got hurt and then he like fell down.
I mean,
but this one it was just one overhand right and he's on the floor. And then
I mean, it was a bit looped. It was a bit looped, so maybe he saw it late. But that's not deep. That's not defense.
He never saw the punch.
That's not defense. I mean, he was just open. I mean, you can start if you want, like trying to do loose, with your hands down. But once you keep getting hit with shots, bring your hands up and pull your chin down. Tuck your chin.
I was gonna say he's on the ropes doing this. Like he's circling back to the ropes while your hands are down. What are you doing?
There was a moment in the second round where Dubois hits him with a jab early on, and I genuinely thought he was going to get knocked out by it, the way he reacted. That
Was
jab's a weapon.
the one where he
It's just-
flew, his face flew upwards towards the ceiling. It was crazy.
yes. Off a jab,
mean,
like, just honestly dominating, man.
You just can't
It
get
literally
rid of
might as well have been a southpaw, straight left hand. The way he punches.
You can't get a rhythm when there's a jab hitting you every time. You need to reset every single time.
Especially that jab as well. Especially that jab.
That jab's not gonna just upset your arm. That's gonna hurt you. I mean, your head's gonna be spinning after that jab.
He probably still hasn't stopped spinning.
Probably why I didn't see. Probably why I didn't see the right hand. His head is spinning.
I was like, yeah, he was already hurt in the fight before the knockdown even happened. And if the fight probably wouldn't have gone as long if the first and third round knockdowns weren't literally at the bell.
Oh yeah, if that first round knockdown isn't at the bell, he's getting knocked out there. If there's like 30 seconds more, yeah.
And
He's wobbling,
especially the third one, because you seen the punch that hurt him, like originally, where he almost twists his like ankle.
Yeah. Denny's hands touched, don't they?
That
Which didn't get called.
was Marcus McDonald. He's such a horrible referee.
Yeah. Honestly, I watched it back today.
So did I.
I think I know it will be an extremely bold call, but they should have pulled Joshua out after the third round. They certainly should have thrown a towel in as soon as Joshua went down in the fourth round off literally nothing.
Yeah, realistically, he should have been stopped. But it's not realistic for them to pull him out so early. Even the punishment he was taking was equal to like 10 rounds, even though it was only 4.
I'll tell you one thing. In that third round, given the context of that fight, this is sort of what I was saying a couple of episodes ago. If Daniel Dubois, the B-side fighter, is in the position Joshua's in at the end of the third round, do you think the ref stops it?
It's over.
Exactly. Like the Castro against Poland fight, you get B-side and A-side privileges, don't you? But anyway, it's irrelevant this time because Dubois still won. But
yeah,
I don't know.
B-side and A-side, like Dubois coming out first and being introduced first
as the champion.
They disrespected Dubois.
I thought they were gonna flip it from the ring walk and then the announcement he would have been second. Nope. Just completely
disrespected Dubois.
It makes sense. AJ walk out second, fair enough. But you have to announce Dubois as the champion second.
Yeah, we're not in Japan.
That's insane.
This isn't. What are we doing?
Just look at it.
Look, I mean, one thing you can't fault. I mean, AJ, he has a lot of heart. I mean, he keeps getting up and he keeps fighting, keeps coming back, keeps trying.
I don't really understand when people call him like a quitter. He takes like insufferable amount of damage where he doesn't need to take it.
Like even in the Ruiz fight, when that's what people call him, the quitter. I mean, look,
he's not in the ring. His brain is
beat
not.
Up. He's not. Up.
He was gone in the fight.
He literally probably doesn't remember anything, like most of that fight.
Look, I mean, he was probably just waiting for the ref to tell him to come forward. I mean, that's what I thought he was doing.
And that was, and then his mouthpiece was on the.
And then he didn't. And then it just got waved off. I mean, he's concussed. I mean, he doesn't know what planet he's in.
It was a good stoppage, but he didn't quit.
I mean, if he's quitting, why is he gonna get dropped like 4 times and keep going up?
Yeah,
just sit out, take a count.
Yeah,
like what Dubois did.
He's taken so much punch. How many knockdowns is it in his career now? 8?
Yeah, it should be 8.
4. Might be 9 actually.
No, it's 9. Yeah, because Klitschko.
4 Ruiz, 4 Dubois, 1 Klitschko. Did he overtake Fury's knockdowns? Oh man.
I think
9,
I think they might
Fury,
be equal.
Pykit,
I think they might be equal.
Pykit's Cunningham.
Usyk.
4
Four,
was
Usyk.
4 from Wilder.
No, it's 5 from. Oh yeah, it's 4 from Wilder. So yeah, 8.
and it was only
Yeah.
3 fights, and then Fury's is like in like 6 fights.
Man.
I mean, the bad thing for AJ is that was 10 times worse than the Ruiz fight. Much worse.
Harder puncher, and it's like Ruiz's one came out of nowhere, out of just like it wasn't luck, it wasn't God's punch like he tried to make it seem like, but he Ruiz was hurt, and he probably was just like, forget it, just chuck punches, and he just surprisingly landed one.
I mean,
But
he caught
Dubois,
him.
he immediately just ran him over.
Yeah, I mean, took him 3 rounds to do anything in that fight, and he caught him, knocked him down.
Yeah, it
But
wasn't.
still,
It wasn't.
in between the knockdowns, I mean, he wasn't taking a like sustained beating like he was against Dubois.
Yeah,
Like,
Ruiz
that was
wasn't.
bad.
Ruiz wasn't trying to punch himself out.
That was
But
such a
Those
bad
like middle,
beat.
those like middle
20
rounds.
seconds in until the KO, he's taking out.
Yeah,
maybe
he was
career.
hurt at the beginning of the first round, dropped at the end of the first round, hurt all throughout the second round. Hurt in the beginning of the third round, dropped at the end of the third round, hurt, dropped at the beginning of the fourth round, hurt at the end of the fourth round, and then knocked out in the fifth round. He was hurt in every single round.
You know what? You know what's annoying me about this? That right hand at the end that Joshua landed. I'm seeing calls from the usual suspects, the sort of Eddie Hearns of this world and the Bellews and that he was back in the fight at that point.
Oh,
He absolutely was not back in the fight at that point.
Darren Barker.
If he was
Darren
back in the
Barker
fight,
screaming.
Darren Barker. I could say so much, man. Why are you screaming at the top of your lungs?
What a
one
comeback.
punch? What
Yeah.
a comeback! Like this is Jordan Gill versus Kareem Gorfi. What do we do?
One punch that makes Dubois do what Joshua should have done, actually. Be defensively responsible. You feel a big right hand, you cover up and you back up and you circle out. That's what Dubois did.
Not flail your arms trying to get a clinch
Yeah.
or fight or punch
Yeah.
back like AJ was doing.
And then AJ drops his hands, runs in, and then
With
gets
a
away.
lead uppercut like he's dominating Brazil against Wilder. Like, what are you doing?
Like, just man.
Man, you could do a split screen video of Joshua running in against Ruiz and Dubois just to hit the floor.
It's just.
He's so clumsy.
And by the way, we did not need a rematch.
Oh,
yeah, we don't need a
there's
rematch.
I get
clause.
why before there's a rematch clause, because like it was a really good fight on paper that but no one expected it to be so one-sided.
Well, if that's
Like, if you-
competitive, and Dubois wins, rematch, fine. But that wasn't competitive.
If Dubois just one punch knocked him out, like in the first couple of rounds, and AJ wasn't hurt at all except like the last punch, sure, it would have been surprising knockout, blah blah blah. He got dominated from 20 seconds into the fight all the way to the end while Dubois was hurt. You got him hurt and you still got knocked out. There shouldn't be a rematch clause. I mean, there shouldn't be a rematch.
This is what I hate about modern boxing is, apart from a handful of people, no one can defend jabs.
They don't know what to do.
Look at my first account name. What's it called? Harry the Jab. Harry the Jab. I mean, or move your head. I mean, parrying the jab, I mean, it's the easiest way to defend the jab. I mean, it leaves you open for left hooks, but, you know, every defense has their
We're
pros
not
and
asking
cons.
for these heavyweights to become Willie Pep all of a sudden. Like, you don't need to be a defensive genius. Don't let a punch so powerful hit you over and over and over.
Or what you do is you realize you're bigger, you're longer, and you stick your own you stick your own jab out. You stick your own jab out. You're bigger, you're longer. You can hit hard. Stick your own jab out.
Yeah, I mean, he
Beat
used to have
into
such
it.
a good. He used to have such a good jab. Now he just pours with it. I mean, he just kind of like sticks it
2
out.
jabs
Just like,
landed in the first
The
round.
first Usyk fight.
look,
2
if
jabs
he
landed in the first round, man.
if he jabs with Dubois at range, his jab is landing and Dubois is
I
not
said
because he has a longer reach.
a couple times it was working, but he's already cooked at that point.
He's not consistent. I mean, he can't consistently keep a jab. He's in between. He's just in between
I say
everything.
he's in between style. He's a in between style fighter,
I mean,
and Ruiz did that to him.
I'm going to read out these. I usually hate stats, but the power punch landed percentage by Dubois. Round 1, 5 of 13, so 38%. Round 2, 13 of 26, 50%. Round 3, 13 of 26, 50%. Round 4, 15 of 27, 55.66%. Round 5, 3 of 4, 75%, but you can't really read too much into round 5.
It didn't even
But
last
he's
a minute.
in
You know,
in 3 rounds, you're shipping 50% of the power punches or more.
Straight on your chin.
you know,
What's
they
he
say
doing?
in every division, like if you're getting hit with 50% of the power punches, you're getting stopped. And this is a heavyweight against a big guy. I mean, you cannot be taking 50% of power punches.
One of the biggest punches in the division, in the sport in general, in Dubois. Say what you want about him, like technically, like you can't even say bad things about him technically.
He's
Past my head.
He's turned around his skills
No,
like a lot.
he's
Technically he's actually like really.
he's really good technically, and
Yeah, but
he has a very good base underneath him. He always has his feet underneath him. He's always on balance. I think that helps him take these shots. That he
Probably will
does
never
take.
be out of shape. He's a statue. Like he's
yeah,
a built dude.
he's a machine, man.
The fact that he just turned 27. He's 27 years old.
I keep going back to my tweets, yeah. But after the Hrgovic fight, which I picked him to win that fight. I thought Dubois was going to win that fight pretty comfortably, and he came through the fire and he won it. I put a tweet out just after that fight, a couple of days later, getting stopped by Corey Sanders and all these other guys that Klitschko got stopped by early on. Brewster and whoever.
Corey Sanders.
Yeah.
And Ross Purity.
Ross Purity, that's it. Getting stopped by those three is a lot worse than getting stopped by Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk. Daniel Dubois won his title, or he was upgraded at 26 years old. Vladimir Klitschko, I know he had a WBO, but I'm not counting that. It wasn't a 4-belt era at that point. He won his IBF title, his first legitimate world title, at the age of 30. After 3 bad KO losses. People wrote Daniel Dubois off so much, way too quickly. The man's 27. He's fought Usyk, Dubois, Nathan Gorman, Philip Hrgovic, Jarrell Miller, Kevin Lorena, Trevor Bryan, Anthony Joshua. Like, the list of guys that he's fought at this age is ridiculous. Like, it's...
That's why for some people that was a bit like too much. Like he was thrown straight in. Maybe like for some people, maybe too quick. But you can see he got through it.
He was frustrated, but like he's come out the other side and it's made him such a good fighter.
Look,
I think he needed those losses for his development.
You know, anyone can turn around. See, with Vladimir Klitschko, you know, in his, I think it was his first fight with Emmanuel Stewart, he was stopped by Lamont Brewster. And look at the turnaround he did after that. I mean, I think it was a year later he won his first world title. Then he was champion for 9 years. Anyone can turn it around. Vladimir Klitschko is proof of that. Lennox Lewis is proof of that. Daniel Dubois is proof of that.
So many more are proof of that. You don't need to be undefeated to be great. Which is the whole
Marvin
point.
Hagler, look at Bernard Hopkins, look at all these guys.
You know,
I'm obviously not saying Dubois is gonna be like that, but Jesus, man, that heavyweight in there last night is a problem for anyone.
I mean, sometimes these losses help you. I mean, that experience. I mean, it's priceless.
Look, it might have like people call him a quitter for the Joyce thing. Maybe you look back at it, it was probably better he didn't take 2 more rounds of that to where he could have worst case scenario lost his eye or had
Yeah,
a
what about
career-ending injury at least.
if he ends up blind? People are telling him he should have quit
Yeah,
or stopped.
And he had that closed eye for multiple rounds before. It was like he tried to get through that.
yeah,
It's not like like right when it got swollen or right when it
yeah.
was like closed, he quit. He
And he was
fought
still winning
multiple.
rounds with that shut eye as well.
I felt like I don't think I've scored it like since it was live. I feel like I had Dubois winning, or it was like pretty even at that point.
I think I had it 5-4 Joyce, but it could have been 5-4 the other way.
Yeah, I also had it 5-4 Joyce.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
could have been. Yeah,
look, with all this quitting talk, I mean, maybe that.
It
I mean,
saved
you know,
him.
I
It
mean,
saved the future of his career by doing that.
like, yeah. Look, I mean, if people are gonna call you a quitter, you're gonna try and prove them wrong. And look what he did against Jerome Miller.
ooh-wee.
Look what he did against Jerome Miller. I mean, that pulled it out. I mean, maybe he didn't think he had it in him, but then he did it against Jerome Miller and he got over the hump. And now he knows that he had it in him.
And he's proved it again even before the AJ fight. He ran through dozens of straight
And that's why we were
punches from
saying, like, he's proved the quitting accusations wrong
Sure, he's
in
been
his last 2 fights.
he's been an underdog in like the last 4 straight fights, I think.
no, he was a favorite against Miller, but he was underdog against Usyk, underdog against Hergovich, underdog, if I can get my word out, against Joshua. So 3 of the last 4, he's been quite a big underdog in. Admittedly, he's lost one of them to Usyk, but
That's fine.
yeah,
It's-
that's Usyk.
I guess the
You
show
know what the crazy thing about that is?
Usyk's red.
13 months ago, less than 13 months ago, people are screaming that he's a quitter against Usyk. Less than 13 months ago. His career's over. Like, people are saying he's finished. Then he goes on his run. Miller, Hergovich, Joshua. In a 9-month period. In a 9-month period, he's done Miller, Hergovich, and Joshua and stopped them all. That's a crazy run, man.
2 of them undefeated too. On top of that,
Not many fighters have a better run than that, let alone heavyweights.
I mean, how badly do you think this loss affects Anthony Joshua's legacy in the sport?
what is? I feel like I don't like to be disrespectful, but what is his legacy at this?
This is what I mean. Like, what is it?
Look, his legacy is, I guess, one of the best heavyweights of this era and one of the best British heavyweights ever. That's as far as his legacy goes. I don't think this loss affects either of those two. But anything more, it's over. He's not getting anything more than that with this loss.
It's like we talk about Dubois and how people talk about that he should quit. He didn't. People saying that he quit. He saved himself from taking the damage that AJ's taken over the last couple of years, to where it's a different conversation. To where AJ should probably quit for his he's taken so much punches in the past couple of years.
No,
So much unnecessary punishment.
like pride and like ego won't let him retire. I mean, he should retire. I mean, he doesn't need to prove anything else. I mean, if he doesn't get the Fury fight, who cares? Doesn't get
you know what it
fight,
is, though.
who cares?
You know what it is. There are three things that the British boxing public love. They love losers that try.
To give it.
They love they love to give it a go, dare to be great guys. That end up losing. They love heavyweights, and they love domestic fights. Now, you are not telling me that Anthony Joshua can't go and fight Dillian White on pay-per-view at the O2. You are not telling me that Anthony Joshua can't go and fight Derek Chisora on pay-per-view at the O2. You're not telling me he can't go and fight Joe Joyce on pay-per-view at the O2.
I mean,
You're not telling me that a Tyson Fury fight doesn't sell out Wembley. You're not telling me that a Fabio Wardley fight doesn't sell out the O2 and do hundreds of thousands of buys on pay-per-view, or a Fraser Clark fight on pay-per-view, or any of these fights. You're not telling me that a Jarrell Miller fight doesn't sell. You're not telling me that an Andy Ruiz trilogy fight doesn't sell. The issue with AJ is he can go and make between 5 and 15, 20 million pounds for fights that he's a heavy favourite in that people care about. Do you and you don't turn down that money? I've just named 5 easy fights there that he can probably make between 5 and 15, 20 million quid in. And he's a massive favourite in all of them.
But he might not want the money at this point. He really wanted a third.
Right, but
try at that.
But if you go and say he goes and beats Joyce, Wyatt, Ruiz, that 3-fight run, yeah. You're not telling me that he's not in a mandatory position after that, yeah.
He probably doesn't need all those fights to get a mandatory position.
This is what I mean. Like he can still become a 3-time heavyweight champion.
I mean, this is Anthony Joshua. He could probably beat one of those guys and get a title shot.
You could beat Ruiz and get a mandatory.
Exactly.
But for his health, should he get one?
No.
Should he continue and fight any of these people for however much money? We know he'll sell anywhere.
No, but the point is that the people around them are thinking, "Oh, I'm getting 5% of that, and I want my 5% of that." And we've brought him back before. Look at the job we've done on Chisora, bringing him back, and look at the job we've done with all these guys, bringing them back. Yeah. Ultimately, everyone around Joshua is going to say that it was just a fluke and he got caught, and we can still rebuild and we can still get you back to the heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Everyone around him.
They're the people he does not need around him.
But they're all the people that he has around him, though.
And that's most people in boxing, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's most people's teams.
It's just all about the money, and not about the fact that he needs to secure his health at this point.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with all this money if you're a vegetable? Brain damage.
He's a father. You kind of need him to be. You need him to be around and not be not available.
Yeah, he's supposed to take care of his children. His children aren't supposed to take care of him.
There's fights for him there, Lord. This is the point.
He's Anthony Joshua. There'll always be fights there for him. I mean, he can take them if he wants, but my personal opinion is he shouldn't. I mean, if he wants,
he will.
One fight to see how he looks against someone decent, not great, someone decent. To see how he looks.
There's 3 fights that I think he should take.
Maybe not
Miller. 4 actually.
Miller's probably a bit too relentless for him at this point. AJ doesn't have good stamina.
He should
and
fight.
He can take a punch.
He should fight Andy Ruiz.
Ruiz is not realistic. Ruiz is 20 million.
He should fight Andy Ruiz, or he should fight Joe Joyce, or he should fight Dillian White.
How realistic are those?
Well, Joe Joyce is very realistic. Joe Joyce hasn't got any other options, has he?
Same with him. He should not be fighting anymore. Your tweet from, I don't know if it was from today or yesterday, where he posted his interview, he is not fully there anymore.
But he is fighting, though.
He shouldn't, is the point.
He shouldn't be. This is the point. All these guys shouldn't be. But they
Okay,
are.
so it's just stop it. That we shouldn't be making fantasy fights over people that shouldn't even be fighting anymore.
But he
These
is.
people are
And if,
pushing 40 years old, should not be fighting.
if you're
he's
part of the
gonna fight,
Joshua team, that's
if
the
he's
fight
gonna
you
fight,
make.
if he's gonna fight, I think he should fight Dylan White.
Dillian White's the fight that, because White will clap back at him and it will be a big fight. And White, literally, all you need to do is blow a little bit of air on his chin and it'll go down. So
Yeah, that fight makes no sense. I mean,
you get a highlight reel knockout and everyone's going mad again, like they were for Ngannou, saying he's the best heavyweight in the world.
all you need is an uppercut. AJ has a great uppercut. He's already knocked him out with an uppercut. Just do it again.
And then you'll get all the hype back. And look, he beat up Wallin and Ngannou, and people were saying he's definitively the best heavyweight in the world. I know no sensible people were saying that.
Mm.
But there are a lot of people that like boxing that aren't very sensible and will buy into it.
See, that's what I said in the preview. I mean, is he back, or is he just gonna go back to where he was again? I mean, he's gone back there several times, and it's happened again, hasn't it?
He hasn't plateaued since the Usyk losses, but now he has, because he's fallen off a cliff since he just got
Right.
face planted. But
He's-
the fights in between the Usyk losses and Ngannou, obviously he improved a little bit, but the opposition hasn't been crazy.
Like he came back a bit. He came back supposed to be new improved.
It was good that he was active.
Yeah.
He was
Like,
the
new
most
improved.
active heavyweight. But
New improved against after he lost to Klitschko. New improved. That went out the window again against Ruiz. Then he beat him again, and then he beat Pulev. He's meant to be new improved again. Loses back to back against Usyk. Then he comes back again. Now he's meant to be new and improved. I think it's just an up and down cycle. He's never going to be new and improved. He's always going to be the same AJ.
and it's because of one left hook to the temple at MSG.
I don't think so.
It's
It's like to make Klitschko. To be honest, was it any of these? I think this was just always AJ.
It was
Dillian White.
This is. I think this is just always AJ. I mean, it would have happened eventually.
It's like he's not young anymore either. It's not like
this thing around Joshua.
He's had a 10-year career too. So.
This
Well,
thing around Joshua,
Yeah.
Any Olympic gold medalist worth their salt in the professional game is gonna look good against Denis Bakshov and Gary Cornish. Yeah. Let's just be honest about it. You put Daniel Dubois on that run of people that Joshua fought early on. Up until Klitschko, do you not think Daniel Dubois does the exact same to every single one of them?
No, I don't.
He does, man. Come on.
Not Kevin Johnson. That was an impressive one for
Well,
AJ.
yeah.
Daniel
That's
Dubois
a
went the
fair point.
distance with Kevin Johnson.
That's a fair point. But you know what I mean? He wins all those fights.
But yes, he will win all those fights, of course.
Yeah. And any Olympic gold medalist at that age is going to look good against those opponents. The reality is, as soon as Anthony Joshua stepped up to anywhere near the elite level, he got dropped against Klitschko and nearly lost that fight, and arguably would have done if that was like 3 or 4 years before. Like Klitschko was 3 or 4 years younger. Klitschko wins that fight, in my opinion.
And Vitali didn't tell him to be patient instead of stepping on it. He was like, "No, he'll go.
Yeah.
Don't do anything."
Yeah. Then Joseph Parker was an extremely sort of, messy fight. The ref didn't really help it. That wasn't a very good performance. And then Parker goes and loses. Parker goes and loses to Dillian White. Povetkin, Joshua got staggered very badly, and Povetkin was old in that fight. 38, 39.
Look, I mean, yeah. I mean, that was a good performance from AJ, though.
It was a good performance, yeah. Good performance.
After the second round, he adjusted very well.
Yeah, good performance, yeah. Definitely. But that, like, the fragilities were there. It's not like he's been running through these guys, and just dominating everyone at world level. That's just not a reality. He's been dominating guys like Eric Molina and Brazil and Pulev and these guys that just aren't that good. I'm being harsh on Joshua, but like, it's mainly because of the people around him and promoting him and his fan base that are saying that he's been this elite world level killer. When that's just not the case. He's an extremely good fighter. He's an extremely good world level fighter, but he's never been this guy. He's never been this elite, top tier, all time great heavyweight. He's been a very, very good world level heavyweight in this era, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, that's fine. I mean, being one of the best of your era.
Yeah. That's
Perfectly
that's not me like putting a downer on him, but like I'm just saying he's not what people said he was. I mean, when he turned over, like there's this article that Barry Hearn did. I know. This is like a promoter's job, really. But I think it was when Josh was like 8-0, 9-0, and he says this kid now is better than Lennox Lewis ever was, and he's got a jab better than Larry Holmes, and his right hand's more powerful than Shavers, and he's gonna be the best heavyweight of all time. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Look, biased because Lennox Lewis is my favorite fighter. The best version of Anthony Joshua isn't even better than pre-Emmanuel Stewart Lennox Lewis.
Pre-Dreads Lennox Lewis.
Look, Anthony Joshua gets knocked out by the Lennox Lewis that fought Razor Roddick.
In the
That
first
was
time?
that was 2 years before he got knocked out
lost
by
to
Oliver McCall.
Does he beat Frank Bruno?
Well, I mean,
Uh,
we've seen he can't avoid a jab, but neither of them.
Exactly.
Look,
Bruno's so slow.
That's a close fight.
look, I think Anthony Joshua would beat Frank Bruno
Off speed.
by knocking him. I think he'd knock Frank Bruno out. But if Frank
Yeah, but
Bruno
everyone-
catches him, then yeah, he would knock AJ out.
Especially catch him with those potent rabbit punches.
Because Frank Bruno he hits hard.
But yeah, man. Like, very,
I mean,
very, very good.
They're,
Very, very good.
I mean, they're not similar fighters, but they're similar-ish. You know, they both hit hard. They're both vulnerable. They don't have the best stamina.
They're
I mean,
both
they
big,
both
stiff idiots.
they both don't. They both react very badly to getting hit, and they don't know what to do. Well, but Frank Bruno has a much better jab.
Yeah. But I just want to end this segment. Not segment. I can't actually get my words out today. But I want to end this segment on this fight by saying, Daniel Dubois, congratulations, because it's easy to get carried away on what Joshua didn't do and what mistakes Joshua made, and not focus on what Dubois did well. And it was a fantastic performance from Dubois. He was exceptional.
What a career turnaround he's had.
Yep.
Absolutely fantastic career turnaround.
Completely around.
I mean,
Yeah.
I doubted him. He deserves all the credit.
I don't think I'll predict against him unless he fought like Usyk at this point.
I mean,
yeah.
What heavyweight outside of Usyk and Fury would beat him or could beat him? I mean, who would I give the best chance?
He's
Parker.
Parker would be an interesting fight.
I think I'd give Parker the best chance of beating Daniel Dubois on the rest of the heavyweight just because his style.
Bakoli's a good one. Oh, and Zhang.
Zhang's hand speed, and if he catches,
if Zhang doesn't clean him out in the first 4 rounds, then it's a little different. But
then he's losing.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Yeah. There's a lot of good fights.
Leave the judges at home if you put that together. Let the judges watch from home at that point.
But I mean, fights between 2 punches, they usually don't go past 6 rounds, so that does favor Zhang.
That would never go past 6 rounds.
Cool. Wow. Yeah, that's a fight. That's a fight. Bakoli's a fight.
Yeah, Bakoli's
is a fight.
Bakoli's had such a weird career turnaround too. Like,
yeah, it doesn't help when you sign with Boxer, but that's a story for another day. If he didn't make that promotional deal, I think he'd be a lot further along in his career. But hopefully, it sounds like Bakodi's getting a big fight next. So,
Who's he rumored to fight?
Zhang.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Jeez. That might as a fight be better than the Dubois fight because then Dubois and Zhang, it's truly whoever hits first is going to fall asleep. Oh, actually, that's not true because Zhang's chin is ridiculous.
Who even knows, man? But yeah, fantastic performance from Dubois.
Yeah.
And
Let's get to the undercard.
yeah, let's get it because we've gone on about this for 45 minutes.
It was deserved. It was deserved.
Yeah, it was deserved. Yeah.
It was okay. That's okay.
We could have made a whole podcast about that fight, but yeah.
But yeah, there was really the undercard was it couldn't have matched what the main event was.
Chief support. Hamza Sheeraz takes out Tyler Denny in 2 rounds, and I'm going to make a statement. Hamza Sheeraz is the best middleweight on the planet, and he knocks out everyone at 160 pounds.
It's like
he is the best middleweight on earth, man.
I guess Denny wasn't gonna really prove anything, but it's like he doesn't even. It's like Sheeraz is not going 100% with the last couple people he's been fighting.
He isn't. He isn't, man. He's too good. That jab's too good.
Like he probably would have to go 100% for Jonabek, and I would really love to see what 100% of Sheeraz would look like because these other people that aren't giving him that much of a test. I guess like Ammo stunned him near the beginning of their fight, but then all Sheeraz did is just throw a jab and it hit almost every single time. So.
This is a little bit of an exclusive here, but I was speaking to someone on Sheeraz's team, and in the lead up to the Williams fight, the Ammo Williams fight, they were sparring Denny, and let's just say the sparring went exactly the same as that fight.
Was it also a second round demolition?
Well, from what I've been told, Denny was dropped, and it was sort of similar, sort of quite dominating from Sheeraz.
I can't believe. I swear I seen a tweet where it showed on the sky.
Yeah,
the clock didn't show up while the clock hadn't shown up yet as Denny was getting counted on the floor.
Yeah, he was on a knee, and the clock hadn't even come up.
They were showing they were showing the commentators' names at the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, who had the worst start? AJ or Tyler Denny?
Denny by 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, man.
See, this is what I'm saying. No one can defend the jab in boxing anymore. Or a handful of people can defend the jab in boxing anymore. Like Terence Crawford, he parries and punches. Oh, I love it. I love it. There's nothing I like better than seeing people parry punches.
Sheeraz has got this weird shot.
You like that Sambu Kalambe right there.
Look, if you can't defend the jab against Sheeraz, how are you going to beat him? That's exactly how he gets a rhythm.
You're not. That's the point.
There's a couple of things with Sheeraz. His jab, it arrows down. It's a really weird shot. It's a really good shot, and the sort of way it arrows on, he gets this. It arrows down, and he gets his whip on it, and it's a beautiful shot. And he's got a very underrated inside game. He throws nice uppercuts on the inside and nice body work on the inside. He caught Denny with a beautiful left hook just before the second knockdown to the body, and Denny drops his hands and goes back onto the ropes. I think that was the sort of beginning of the end. And he's sort of got this weird step through where he's walking you down. He'll step through with a right hand, go to southpaw, and throw a southpaw backhand uppercut. And it's just, and then step through with that uppercut, so he's back in orthodox. And it's like, it's dangerous because he can get caught square doing that. And he did against who is it? The Argentinian he fought, Torres, when he got dropped. That was that sort of thing. where he sort of squared up a bit as he was chasing him down after he dropped him. But when it comes
keep your
off, man,
defense together when you're trying to go for a kill.
yeah. And he's learned from that, to be fair.
Yeah,
He's hardly getting caught now.
Emo's the only person to take him past the second round in the past 2.5 years. It's crazy.
I mean, Mitch Rafanov's a very good win. Liam Williams was totally shot to bits. I don't really put much stock in that.
He treated him like he was supposed to.
This is the thing, man. Like, with Sheeraz, you get these mismatches on paper, and he makes them mismatches. And not many people do that. Like, Joseph Parker went to a stinky points win against Jack Massey. Sort of Anthony Joshua took Hellenius 7 or 8 rounds and went to points with Franklin.
I mean, even one of the best fighters in the world. I mean, Dimitri Bivol, he's having these mismatches.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, a 9 fight UD run.
I mean, like, he wins all the rounds, but
he doesn't even win all the rounds sometimes against like Craig Richardson people. But yeah, like he treats mismatches like they're mismatches. And look, Janabek turned down $1.5 million to fight him on this card.
He's pitiful.
Chris Eubank Jr. turned down $5 million to fight him on this card. There's reasons why these guys are turning these fights down, man.
Well, I mean, in Chris Eubank's defense, he might be getting the Canelo fight.
Embarrassingly.
Yeah, but like, I don't know.
No point. No point getting knocked out. Well, maybe not knocked out. I mean, he has a good chance, but beat.
Is he making more than $5 million to fight Canelo?
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. That's a fair
I
point,
would imagine so.
But Janabek, there's no defense in not taking that. Adames is, apparently injured, so that he turned it down as well.
Yeah.
Lara's more interested in fighting depressed welterweights.
Janabek supposedly avoided, and he wants to fight with the Bears. He's doing all his talk as well.
He talks.
You've been offered one of the best.
In fairness, Janabek doesn't do the talking on Twitter. Igor Klimas does it on his account.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you got offered one of the best, and you turned it down.
And look, he's probably going to get stripped of his WBO. Like, who even knows if he makes weight for the Mikhailovich fight?
I don't even know if he will.
He's taken that fight. That fight only got announced last week, and it's like in 2.5 weeks' time.
I think it'll make weight. Just about
with the rehydration clause,
and he's gonna look horrible in the fight
on like 5 weeks' notice.
I think he might just not do the rehydration clause. Then he'd have to be stripped.
Yeah, he'll be stripped. One of the ways. He will not be champion.
Either he doesn't make weight, or he says I'm not doing the rehydration clause, or he misses the rehydration clause. One of those 3 things.
He'll probably miss the rehydration clause.
Right, but it looks like Sheeraz is going to fight Bentley next in December. That's probably going to be for a WBO, either interim or full title. He's WBC mandatory, so it wouldn't surprise me if they put a WBC interim on the line for that as well.
I would say it might be like a similar Zoo Mendoza type beat.
Yeah, or like Crawford Madrimov, where Riyadh sees and just say, "This is our guy," and every single sanctioning body is going to bow down and make this a final eliminator or an interim fight or something.
Bow down to Daniel's favorite glorified bank account.
If Janabek is vacating the IBF or gets stripped or whatever, let's say he goes in there and beats Mikhailovich but misses weight. 1 and 2 aren't rated. Mikhailovich 3, Hamza Sheeraz 4, Chris Eubank 5, Shane Mosley 6, Nasultanov 7. I would say, and Aaliyah 8, but Aaliyah's just won a final eliminator. Hamza Sheeraz would brutally stop everyone I've just mentioned.
Yeah, but middleweight is terrible.
And he probably won't be a middleweight for if he wins the title, he probably will have one defense at home, and then he physically has to move up.
He's the best middleweight on earth. I'm convinced, man.
Yeah,
he's only 25 as well, man. The kid's 25.
It's unfortunate. He won't
I
be
did
there.
update my rankings earlier. I mean, I did put him at a number 2
Behind
behind
Johnny.
Janibek. But I mean, it's fine. Middleweight's not very good. Off eye test, he looks really good, really impressive, and
Knocked out almost every single person.
I'll ask you a question.
mm-hmm.
If Hamza Sheeraz knocks out Denzel Bentley, is his run at middleweight better than Janibek's run at middleweight? Take out titles. Look at the wins.
Well, then Johnny Beck would have Dignam, Bentley, Butler,
Hassan and Dam.
Gualtieri.
And Hassan and Dam. Sheeraz would have Francisco Torres, River Wilson, Ben, Mitch Rafanov, Liam Williams, Austin Williams, Tyler Denny, Denzel Bentley.
They're kind of close, but it's how he deals. I feel like it's like how he deals with Bentley because
if he takes Bentley apart and stops him inside the first 6,
I don't see a way he could beat him worse than Johnny Beck. Like Johnny Beck had to kind of really fight him,
8-4 decision, yeah. Like,
I mean, I scored that fight 7-5.
which is way too close for the discrepancy in skill between them.
and then Heaney goes and beats Bentley better.
Look, I mean, they're not like too far away, but I mean,
I
I'm
feel
more
like it
impressed.
depends how Sheeraz beats Bentley.
Well, he just has to stop him,
I was like, he just has to beat him clearly. Like,
or he doesn't even have to stop him. Just beat him.
9-3. I'm like, I don't know.
You know what I worry about with Bentley? I really don't think his punch resistance is there. And
I feel like he's taking some hammering. Really.
I don't know if it was just the Osazi fight and the way he made weight for that. But the way he reacted to some of those shots against Derek Osazi in the first round really didn't fill me with confidence. And I was like ringside for the Danny Dignam fight, like literally front row ringside right next to the ring. And so there was a couple of shots from Dignam that landed. And you couldn't see it on TV really, and he didn't really show it that like obviously. But he definitely felt them. He definitely felt some shots from Dignam. And his legs stiffened ever so slightly, and like a couple of people that were with me there said it the same. Like a couple of those shots definitely stiffened his legs up, and I just worry about him because he didn't look good against Osazi. Osazi pinged him about that first round. Let's not forget that.
If his punch resistance isn't there anymore, then it's going to be a quick job.
I can see it going in like 1 or 2 rounds, man. Honestly.
Because if you have no punch resistance, you have no chance against
I guess he
Hamza
doesn't
Sheeraz.
have the greatest. Like he was hurt off Udofia. He was hurt off Marcus Morrison.
I mean, he's
He was
never
hurt
had.
off
Yeah, I mean, he's never had the best gen, but I mean, he's tough. Almost as tough.
Knowing the weird backstory with the Cash fight, I don't really hold that against him, but like super badly.
Yeah, but
He's been hurt a lot. He hasn't really been close to being stopped outside of the Cash fight.
yeah, but you could say the same with Liam Williams, couldn't you? He was hurt a lot by Eubank and by Andrade and by probably other people as well. But
Demetrius Andrade is the worst finisher of all time.
Yeah, and Eubank was just messing about in that fight.
And Chris Eubank is Chris Eubank.
Yeah, but there's an interesting stat about Sheeraz. Well, not interesting, but noteworthy. He's got the longest active KO streak in British boxing, or amongst British fighters. He's at 15 now.
Damn.
Dating back, his last fight that he didn't win by KO was the 12th or the 15th of December 2018
against Jordan Granham.
Yeah,
he's been the distance 4 times.
Yeah, he had 3 back-to-back points.
He had like a knockout and then like
in England
3-point decisions, and he's just been basically running everybody over, except
He went
Ammo.
6-0 with only 2 KOs, by the way.
That's crazy.
I wonder
Yeah.
why.
Probably because he was at 154.
Yep, that's exactly why.
And fighting journeyman that would just shut up against him, and he was 18, and that, like
Look, I mean, our journeymen. I mean, they're pretty tough. I mean, you see a lot of our journeymen that don't get stopped very often.
I've got a couple of gripes with the British culture with that sort of thing. That's for another day, but I don't particularly think that's a very good thing. But
well, I mean, we can see that with a lot of our players. I mean, fighting 10 journeymen, it doesn't help you.
Yeah.
Unless you get that out like really quickly. You fight like 10 journeymen, like 18 months, and then move up.
It's a discussion for another day, but a lot of the time I'm really not impressed by it. But yeah. Anyway, Sheeraz, just as long as it's a title next, I don't care who it's against, but I want the Yanabek fight, if I'm honest, or the Adames fight. But it's looking likely it's going to be Bentley.
Well, I'm fine with Bentley. Get Bentley in December, and then
I'll tell you what, though.
Yanabek or Adames next year.
Tell you what. 2024 of Liam Williams, Austin Williams, Tyler Denny, and Denzel Bentley. That's a very good year for a 24, 25-year-old.
It is.
Yep.
Stopping them all.
Yep. Next fight on the bill. Just a really frustrating performance from Joshua Buatsi against Woody Hutchinson.
It's getting common with him.
How do you drop him and be on the verge of stopping him, and then lose 3 of the next 6 rounds?
With you dropping him again, and then
Yes. Yes.
I don't. It's like you can't even say like he regressed. Like he's kind of like inactive, but he's
stagnated.
Not super. He hasn't really improved at all. But he's not fighting like the worst fight. It's so weird with him.
He's stagnant.
It's weird with him out and inside the ring. It's just a weird thing with him. He's never been like super impressive against anybody.
There's plenty you can say about Buatsi outside the ring. And there's plenty that you hear whispers about that isn't very good. What I would say is, if you're going to sign with a management team, this is just my personal opinion. If you're an Olympian, an Olympic medalist that's aiming to win world titles, sign with management that have a board license for the British board and that aren't full-time school teachers. And that's what I've got to say on that. Don't put a headmaster as your manager, because you just don't need that. Like, get proper boxing people around you.
Well, the specifics of the actual fight, he's so. I feel like he's like fighting in slow motion. Like the punches are slow, his reactions are slow, but then Hutchinson is also like not the fastest person, but the fight just felt like it was in 0.5 speed the entire time. It was really weird to watch.
Hutchinson looked completely gone when he both times he got dropped. He looked completely gone.
Yeah, it's not even like he got. I think at some point he got hurt to the head, but he was mostly like his body was getting like shredded, but then he couldn't finish him. And then I forgot if it was the 6th round knockdown or the 10th round knockdown where Buatsi almost like he got hurt himself like really badly. Yeah, what are you doing? Oh, it was the 10th where he tried to go for the kill and he almost flung himself out the ring.
That
was the goofiest thing. That was almost the
and then he lost the 11th and 12th.
Yeah, on my card, than it needed to be. You got 2 knockdowns and when Hutchinson hurt Buatsi, he did a dumb like headbutt.
Yeah, that's one thing I'd say. Buatsi drops him. Then every round after he dropped him, he lost. Like the seventh, obviously the point off, but I still thought Hutchinson clearly won that round.
Yeah, like most people scored it a 9-9
Yeah.
instead of a 10-8.
I did.
Yeah.
I scored it 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he still didn't even win the round because that was the round he got hurt pretty bad in.
Yeah. And then he won the 11th and 12th.
Like Buatsi's such a inconsistent. Like, but I was gonna say he's an inconsistent fighter. He's consistently just not outperforming.
Well,
It's
I
just
mean, yeah, there was something. I didn't mind the fight. I mean, there was periods of.
It wasn't a bad fight. It was just weird to see how he was fighting.
I mean, there was periods of like some quality stuff. I mean, more from Hutchinson because Buatsi is Buatsi. I mean, he doesn't look good, but he's just effective at what he does.
I did see someone say he's like a 8-4 UD fighter, which what this should have been because one of the scorecards were disgusting.
yeah, that's one point.
113, 112 is filthy.
Yeah,
I
like
mean-
Hutchinson absolutely did not win that fight.
Well, he has power to stop these guys.
Yeah,
I
it doesn't. It just doesn't. I don't know. Who's the last person he stopped? Balotniks?
Yeah,
How many years ago was that?
he does. He's just. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think Hog is right. I think he's stagnated.
I was gonna say he hasn't regressed. He doesn't like. He's not looking horrible.
Look, to be honest, I just think this is him. I don't think he's gonna-
This might just be who.
Yeah.
I think.
as a
Well,
person.
I think he's reached a ceiling. This is gonna be him. This is gonna how he's gonna fight. I don't think he's gonna get any better. And as he gets older, I mean, 175 is gonna be even harder for him to make.
It's meant to be
And it's
fine.
gonna
fine.
look even worse.
He's
It's
not
gonna look
even.
worse.
He doesn't seem to be like a drained fighter, and there's no division in between light heavyweight and cruiserweight. Like
Because
They're
he's way
perfect.
too small.
he's way too small for cruiserweight. He's
For cruiserweight.
a tiny person at cruiserweight.
I'll ask a question. Have you seen any progression since the Ryan Ford fight, since the Marco Kalic fight, since the Bolotniks fight?
Oh, it's been the same.
It's been the same. He's been the same for years. Even like the Liam Conroy fight, when he won the British the first time. Like, yeah, he blew him out early, but like he's still fighting in the same patterns at the same speed and just doing the same stuff. I really don't think his training team's very good. And I just think he's stagnant. Like, he's made so many dumb career choices. Like, it's just ducking John Pascal, ducking Bivol, ducking all these guys. You know, it's just weird the way his career's gone. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, the amount of people. I mean, what would a lot of people do for a title shot? And here he is turning them down.
Multi-million-pound paydays as well. It's not like he's getting shortchanged.
I mean,
He had a final eliminator at home in London against John Pascal that he turned down and pulled out of after the bids were made. He broke his contract illegally with Matchroom to fight Parol Stepien.
The Pascal one, okay, that might have as aged. Him turning that down has aged well. He failed the drugs test, but the Bivol one, that's just you can't defend that.
I say this like there was this narrative a few months ago. Buatsi is number one in all these organizations. You only get to that point if you turn down opportunities, and that's a fact.
Being number one is irrelevant if you're not going to fight anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you fight your way all the way up to number one and then don't take it. Like I don't.
Yeah,
Because you'll be number one, you're going to say no. They're just going to move on to the next guy.
Yeah. Anyway, enough of like. Let's be honest. Bivol and Beterbiev beat him. Dave Benavidez beats him.
Stick.
David Morrell beats him. Vosdick beats him. Anthony Yard probably beats him if Anthony Yard can get out of litigation with Frank Warren. But who knows? That's the natural fight to make next if they can't get any other fight, Anthony Yard. But that's been a natural fight for about 8 years and it hasn't happened. So I've got no confidence in it happening again.
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Neither.
I moved on from that fight. in 2018.
Yeah, like 8 years ago or whatever it was. But yeah, that's not gonna happen. But anyway, I thought one thing about Woody Hutchinson, I thought he boxed quite well, but his durability wasn't there. I thought he put in a tough performance, and I think at 26 years old, there's definitely a lot of upside for him.
I didn't
Like
realize
he's
that,
never going to be elite, but he's got skills, definitely.
It's a good file.
Yeah,
But again, just like Buatsi, this is his ceiling. Really.
yeah,
It's-
probably.
Don't think it's the best thing to be so arrogant, considering who he's fought and beat.
Yeah, and lost it. More importantly, but anyway,
Oh, who's his best win? Oh, obviously, well, Craig
Coaches.
Richards. Who's his best win after that? Moderna.
probably Moderna. Yeah. Moving on to the title fight that wasn't Anthony Cacace, Dangerous Warrington. Terrible fight. Cacace won it on a jab, and just Warrington, horrible fighter. His strategy for this fight was to sort of run in, put his head in, and hold on. I don't really know why. It was just a horrible fight to watch, mainly because of Warrington's awful tactics. And I'm glad he's retired. I don't want to see him fight ever again. He's horrible. He was horrible when he was winning against Kid Galahad in a fight that he actually lost. He was horrible when he was headbutting his way out of another loss to Lara. He was horrible when he was headbutting his way through the second half against Lopez. He was horrible when he was headbutting Leewood. He's horrible when he's holding on for dear life against Anthony Cacace, and I'm glad he's retired.
And it was horrible when he was winning a world title by headbutting Kiko Martinez.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that a champion, who I guess at some points for your guys' country has been like a pretty exciting fighter, just to be covered with being a headbutt merchant. That's just not just his style. I guess. Like,
Well, I mean,
back in 2018, he was exciting.
I was like, yeah, That's why I think I said in the preview that he's one of those champions of the last like 5 years to really have a downward spiral
he fell off a cliff.
because of COVID.
It's because his style isn't conducive to a long career. Because it's so physical and so different.
He's probably stunted himself by headbutting people.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like you see that they have slightly different styles, quite different styles, but the physical fighters, like Jarrett Hurd, like Josh Warrington, they're not similar, but they're both sort of big physical guys that lean on that a lot in different ways. If you understand me, those guys
are just a bit cleaner.
Yeah, those guys don't have long careers, or they don't have long primes, and that's what happened with Warrington. He had a prime.
They had like 2-year prime, both of them.
His prime was 2017 to 2018. Patrick Hyland, Kiko Martinez, Sealand, Selby, Frampton. That was his prime. Then he lost to Kid Galahad, banged out Sofian Takouch, who was awful. Vacated his title to try and fight a regular champion. Couldn't get that fight over the line. Got banged out by Lara. Headbutted his way to a technical draw because he knew he was going to get knocked out again. Headbutted his way to a KO win over Kiko Martinez. Headbutted his way to a survival mission against Lopez after getting flogged for the first 7. Got banged out by Leewood after headbutting him all night in a fight that he should have won because Leewood was absolutely dead at the weight. And then he's putting one of the worst performances of this year by any British type fighter against Cacace in a fight that should never have been sanctioned, and it wasn't sanctioned. It shouldn't have even been sanctioned by the board. Yeah, his last 6 fights, he's 1, 4, and 1. I'm glad he's gone, man. I'm glad he's gone. Cacace's not going to fight Nunes. He'll move up.
I thought Cacace could have done more, to be honest.
He could have done more, but like in every fight other than Cordina and maybe Magnesi, you look at Cacace and think, yeah, you could have done more. You know what I mean? Like that's the story of his career. He could have done more,
Yeah.
and he could have
Well,
done more when he was like coming up. He's 35. Like,
he should have thrown more punches.
his whole career is he could have done more. Like he's won a world title, he's done well, but yeah,
Well,
So,
Warrington
we-
retired. I mean, Warrington overachieved. You know, fair play to him. Well done.
definitely.
It's gonna be
definitely.
weird to see what's gonna happen with this 130 belt though. If he's gonna fight Nunez or let the belt go, or who Nunez will fight for that belt.
Did
He's
did
not
you
fine.
did you see who
Yes, I
Cacace
did.
called out yesterday?
Yeah, in his interview,
Have you seen it, Sarge?
I don't think I have.
I'm about to say it. All right. In his interview, they was asking him about Nunez. He said, "Yeah, that could happen, but I'd rather go up to 135 and fight Devontae Davis." Who else did he say? Was it Shakur?
That's still Lomachenko.
What
Oh,
are we-
Lomachenko.
What
One of
exactly
those
are
two.
what exactly are we doing?
Anthony Cacace against Javante Davis.
How would that go?
Anthony
So- That
Cacace against Vasyl Lomachenko.
That is a typical Gervonta opponent though. But
Anthony Cacace against Javante Davis and Lomachenko.
Look,
Hold up.
he got the size and the reach and the length against them.
Do you know what would be so funny? Javante Davis being 30-27 down against Anthony Cacace. Like he is against every single fighter he faces, apart from Ryan Garcia. He's always 30-27 down.
Yeah, for him to open up in the 5th round and knock them out.
Yeah.
Put him to sleep with one shot.
But yeah, he's not fighting Nunes, man. That's just,
who's Nunez?
Yeah, he's also not fighting Javante Davis and Lomachenko.
he might fight Lomachenko though.
Oh.
I'll tell you. There's one fight that's opened its doors now. By the way, this is a little bit conspiratorial, but who was meant to fight a lightweight champion in December that lost?
Mark Chamberlain.
Oh, brother.
Who's
that's
talking about going up to lightweight and is with the same team as Barinchik and Mark Chamberlain?
Anthony Cacace.
So it's not, Dennis Barinchik against Anthony Cacace isn't out the realms of possibility.
I was thinking, I think I know who he's going to say. I hope he doesn't. You did.
It's not though. If you think about it logically, that fight's
Look,
not.
I mean, I'm not against the fight. It's fine. If he wants to move up to lightweight,
Well, I guess
then Mark
it's
Chamberlain's
better than
a
Mark
fine opponent
Chamberlain.
for him. I mean, if he wants to, then go up and fight
So,
Mark Chamberlain.
I guess it's better than.
Better than Javante Davis or Vasily Lomachenko for him, because that's not going well. He can beat Mark Chamberlain. Mark Chamberlain's not very good,
As we've seen yesterday.
which we'll get into soon.
Yeah, but Nunes is fighting for the belt next. Number 3 is Masanori Rikishi. Number 2 is not rated. And number 4 is Henry LeBron, who is a matchroom fighter. So I wouldn't be too shocked if they order that. But let's see. Because Rikishi is ranked very highly with the WBC and WBO. So who knows what way that's going to go.
Yeah,
But
I wonder how he'd bode either against, say, a Foster beats Cacace in the rematch or Nunez. I feel like he would do better against Foster than
I think he beat Foster.
Yeah, Foster hasn't been super impressive recently.
Well,
Like
Or really, he isn't
even
ever
though he
really
beat Cacace, even though he beat Cacace, I really wasn't impressed with it. If you know what I mean. And that decision sort of overshadowed just how bad he was in that fight and just how bad the fight that was in general.
Yeah, the fight was horrible.
Yeah.
I think he might move up anyway.
He probably should, because remember
think he will.
this is him coming back down to fight Vargas for this for that vacant belt. He's really
Go and
not,
fight Javante Davis.
I mean,
oh,
I think he
bro.
wanted to. I think he wanted to move up after the Cacace
Yeah.
fight.
I,
but
you
he
know,
didn't get
I
the
think he said
decision.
that after the Nova fight that he wanted to move
Yeah.
up.
And now he has to stay at the weight again to get back a belt he shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, man.
At least he'll most likely be able to call himself a two-time. Can I get a two-time?
Also on the card, Josh Kelly did Josh Kelly against Ismail Davis and what should have been a very wide decision, but was inexplicably a majority decision. Um, dreadful, dreadful fight. Ismail Davis isn't very good. Josh Kelly is very skilled, but isn't very good either.
We do not have to talk about this for that long. It's literally a common Josh Kelly fight to just say, all right, he's going to get a decision. He's going to.
I'll just give one sentence about Josh Kelly that sums his whole career up. He is the best bad fighter I've ever seen. If that makes any sense.
He's like, you can see the skill, but
he's just bad.
He's stamina, and then it all falls apart. The stamina falls apart. He learns. He starts to hold, and then
he can't punch.
He can't punch. He gets hurt at the end. He's looking up at the clock, holding on to Ismail Davis.
He is the best bad fighter I've ever seen.
He's weight hopping. It's just not a good look.
Yeah. Josh Padley, well done.
Fighter. No.
Thank you.
I was gonna say fighter of the night, but
no. We have ended the story of one of the most privileged fighters in boxing, who, let's not forget, was going life and death with Archam Ranslebs, or whatever his name was, at the York Hall, and pulled out a last round knockout when he was behind on points, in my opinion. Has been a horrible fighter, feasting on these WBC international belts. Picked off Gavin Gwynn after Gavin Gwynn was about 37 years old and had just lost every single round to a 50-year-old Emiliano Marcelli before his shoulder popped out and he won by default. Picked off a 130 pounds fighter who had been knocked about and had been fighting on the Ghanaian or Nigerian club scene or whatever it is. And no disrespect, but I've been on Tim Boxeo's server. I've seen Nigerian club shows. He's fighting it in these sort of random town centres that in the middle of the day that just have ambulances and cars driving past and have shops next to them, like market stalls. Then he fights Josh Padley, a ring-rated top 10 lightweight, fights an area champion who had just gone life and death with Jimmy First, the 40-year-old prospect. And Josh Padley beats him up, schools him, drops him,
confirm it,
cuts him up. Joshua Padley, congratulations. They tried to mess you about with the weight. They told you it was a lightweight fight, and then on fight week, you were told it was a 140 pounds fight. They tried everything to try and scramble Mark Chamberlain an undeserved title shot with his undeserved ranking and his undeserved top 10 status with Ring Magazine. And you beat him. Well done. Congratulations. You have put an end to one of the worst periods in boxing for the lightweight division.
They'll probably make a rematch out of that.
That's an exaggeration, but I'm just glad that the Mark Chamberlain charade is over.
Other than Paddy's performance, I think the best part was that Turkey was actually there to see it. Because apparently Mark Chamberlain's his favourite fighter. He hadn't watched him fight any of the times that he's been working with him. And he turned up in like the 4th round, watched him, and it was fantastic. Fantastic. That's what you get for paying Ring Magazine lots of money to put an undisturbing fighter in the top 10 rankings.
And also, this is one thing. Turkey picked the wrong lightweight. And I've said this before Chamberlain got beat. I've said this for years. There's one lightweight in the Queensberry stable, and that is Sam Noakes. I'm not saying he's going to go on to be a world champion or a world beater either. But let's not mistake it. Sam Noakes beats the hell out of Mark Chamberlain. And that is not a competitive fight. That fight would be a one-sided beating. And you can check my timeline, you can check my Twitter. I've been saying this for years. That fight is not competitive. Sam Noakes beats him up. But anyway, that's my little rant about undeserving York Hall fighters getting opportunities over.
I mean, it's really impressive how average he is.
He was actually about to be in a world title fight. Is insane to me.
You know the term "big stiff idiot."
Yes.
Said by Tyson Fury.
I watched
Yeah.
Tyson Fury say it on live TV.
Yeah. Just that's just Mark Chamberlain. He's a big stiff idiot.
I mean, Josh Padley, he's not bad for now.
Yep.
I mean,
Mark Chamberlain is the 135 pounds David Price in Southpaw.
Oh no. Oh
damn.
no.
I think
All right.
I think we're disrespecting David Price.
I like David Price. Shout out David
135 pounds Kubrat Pulev.
No, no. Okay.
Look, Kubrat Pulev had a great jab in his prime. Mark Chamberlain has nothing.
Kubrat Pulev is one of the worst fighters I've ever seen. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, man,
I was so happy they didn't rob him.
I was, you know what? Yeah, I had a little bet on Padley in play. I got him at 7-2, and then I was panicking, and I was thinking they're gonna give this a draw, aren't they? So I bet on the draw as well.
I was expecting a weird split decision.
Yeah, so I was expecting like a split draw or something. But I'm glad Padley got it because he deserves it. And he said in his post fight he's really a super featherweight. And actually, you know what? Yeah, I really hope he gets an opportunity because the amount of money that's getting thrown about to below average fighters is ridiculous on these Riyadh shows. And I actually want the money to go to someone that's not meant to win his fight and has come in and has upset the apple cart and has ruined the plans. I hope he gets big opportunities.
So do I.
I hope he gets big money. I hope he gets big money because he deserves it. It's because they messed him about with the weight. I don't know if any of you have seen this, but he got sent a contract at 135 pounds, and then on fight week he's told the fight's at 140.
Yeah, one of the main reasons picked him to get stopped because of the weight.
All of this stuff was horrible, man. And then he comes in and just beats Chamberlain and outboxes him and drops him and cuts him up, and it's just beautiful to see. And I hope he gets paid off it.
Unless Turkey hates that his favorite fighter got beat on.
Can Turkey even spell Chamberlain?
I'm so sick of him.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Anything else on that card? There's nothing else on that card. Quick mention: Munguia looked good, or didn't look very good, but knocked him out. Bazinyan out. He was behind on points in my opinion, but most people's opinions. But he was up because it's Arizona. Melvin Jerusalem looked fantastic earlier today. Beat the hell out of Luis Castillo. And if you haven't seen Alan Garcia get knocked out by a journeyman with one punch and one knockout in his entire career, whilst his trainer is live on screen.
Yeah, the top-ranked trainer cam.
The top-ranked trainer cam.
That was the only time I liked the trainer cam.
Yeah, that was very funny. What else was on? Oh yeah, and Callum Walsh looked very good against the Polish kid in Dublin, I thought, but that's just me. There's not much else.
Yeah.
There's not much else this weekend.
Bazinyan looked good. I thought he looked good.
His jab
really
was
good jab.
fantastic.
Bazinyan looked good, yeah.
Yeah, outboxed Munguia. I mean, I didn't weigh up, but I liked Munguia's patience. I mean, he stuck to his game plan and got it eventually. When he hurt him, finished him. This morning. Oh yeah, we watched Jerusalem. He looked really good. I mean, I've not seen Luis Castillo, but I mean, he was really tall, long. Expected to give him some problems. He didn't. Dominated. Couldn't miss with that right hand. That knockdown in the first round.
Beautiful.
Right hand down the pipe on a southpaw. I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, it's fair. He didn't stop him. I mean, could he? Maybe. That's fine.
Mexican.
Mexicans don't get stopped. That's fine. Well, rarely get stopped. At the top level, anyway. That is.
But yeah.
And yeah, great performance. There really wasn't anything else. Oh yeah, one thing by the way. Just this one thing. I'll spend a minute on this. The judging in Ireland is dreadful, absolutely awful. Ali Akhmedov, who was sold to us a couple of years ago as the next Gennady Golovkin. You'll remember him for his last round KO loss to Carlos Gongora when he was up on that point. He was up in that fight on points. He fought in a chief support in Dublin on the Cannon Walsh card. I don't know why the hell he was fighting there. But he fought Pierre Hubert de Bombay, who, if you remember correctly, lost a technical decision to Bekdamir Medakuziev on the Garcia Haney undercard. Got cut horrifically in that fight, bet the Billy, but the Bombay lost. The Bombay clearly won this fight. He dropped Akhmedov in the 8th round. Like it wasn't close. It wasn't competitive. The Bombay won about 8 rounds, and he got robbed blind in Dublin. Did the Bombay, and I feel sorry for him. But yeah, that's one thing I was going to say.
I had the fight on while being in charge of watching fights. I thought he lost as well.
Ali Akhmedov is dreadful. And yeah, that's about it really.
The thing about the main event with Callum Walsh that was funny is, I mean, he didn't beat the count. Gets up and acts like he beat the count.
Yeah, it's the funniest thing.
I mean, you can't be down at like 9.8, then get up. The referee's already waved off, and you're like, "What are you doing? I beat the count." No, you didn't.
Daniel Dubois.
You didn't beat the count. You just sat there on all fours in doggy.
Oh no.
Another thing, by the way, Emmett Brennan definitely didn't win on that card. It was a dreadful decision. Emmett Brennan got beat by Kevin Cronin.
Well, I turned the card on. A round into that. No, not a round. He was making his ring walk. I didn't pay enough attention to see if he.
Yeah, Emmett Brennan definitely lost that fight.
Apparently, he lost. I saw that he should have lost.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. How the hell we've got onto the UFC Fight Pass card after talking about Daniel Dubois? I don't know.
Because we watch all boxing. That's why.
We do. God help us.
That's why we were watching a WBC minimum title fight on a Sandman boxing stream on Facebook this morning.
Well, that's a bit. Considering how bad that stream was, it's a bit, arguable whether we were actually watching it or not. But yeah, God help us watching all this.
They deleted the stream anyway, so you can't watch it back.
Yeah. That's about it, really. We'll be back next or later this week or whenever this. I don't know when this is going out, but we'll be back presumably in the next few days, covering some boxing news, stuff like that. There's enough to talk about these days. In the sport, there's a huge sort of couple of weeks coming up. Obviously, Bivol Beterbiev, 20 days time. You got those title fights in Japan. It's a really good few weeks of boxing coming up. Bit light next weekend, but yeah, we've been very, very appreciative. I said this yesterday or whenever, but we're appreciative for the support that you're giving us on these episodes. All links to YouTube's, Twitter's, Discords, whatever else we have, they're in the description. And yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.
See you in episode 6.